Hi guys, welcome back to episode 6 with Wise Words with Maddie and Nina. Who are we here with today? Introduce yourself.
My name is Carly Fauth, and do you want me to say who I am or how I am? Like how
you
know
can tell
me?
how we know you, what you do.
So I was the yoga instructor for the Hopkinton girls soccer team, and I had the pleasure of working with these two lovely ladies. So I'm excited that they asked me to be on their podcast.
What first got you into yoga?
So funny thing was, I never was into yoga when I was an athlete. But then when I got a little bit older, I took a yoga class from Colleen Allen, who lives in Hopkinton. And she was an athlete. And I just thought that I was like not flexible. That's why I never wanted to do yoga. But I took her class and she was an athlete. And she made me understand that you don't do yoga because like you do it to get flexible. So if you're not flexible, that's a reason to do it.
Yeah.
So once I did that with her, then I started practicing more regularly. And then I decided that I wanted to get certified to become a yoga instructor.
What would you say are all the benefits of yoga and why is it important for people to do?
So I think it's really good for the mind-body connection because if you are practicing yoga, you really have to focus on that with your breathing and then you get to know your body better. So I think that's one of the most important things because you can take that wherever, like if you're an athlete, you can take it into your sport, you can take it as you get to be an adult to notice if things maybe aren't feeling so good in your body. So it works on that. I think it's really good for you mentally as well, to be able to like slow things down and switch it off. And I also think it's really good for mobility and flexibility, which is hugely important for everyone, but especially as you get old like me.
Yeah. What would you say has been like a big motivator? Like what motivated you to start yoga and keep continuing it?
So I think probably the thing that motivated me to start it was it sounds so stupid, but it's because like everybody else was doing it.
No, it's not.
So I was like, I should probably get into yoga. There was this like little voice in my head that was telling me that I needed to do more yoga, more for mental stuff than for the physical stuff, just because I'm like a type A personality who goes.
Yeah.
So I need that quiet time. So that's really what motivated me to start.
I liked when we did quiet time.
Like the Shavasana?
Yeah.
And you got, that was your favorite
This past
part.
year, everybody wasn't too great at keeping quiet.
No, you guys, but I understand.
We weren't great.
No, you guys were really good.
Yeah.
It did. Some people weren't, but that's okay. I understand because that's really hard and sometimes it's awkward. But if you can get to that point where you can really enjoy it, like that is true yoga. It's not really the poses. It's being able to like connect to your breath when you're not moving. Yeah.
When did you get like
certified? So that was 2000 and I'm trying to think. I like lose track of time. So 2016. Yeah, I think it was 2016. I might be wrong, but I think it was.
Okay.
2016.
What other groups have you like done? Like I know obviously you've done our stuff for yoga. What else have you?
So I have my own platform, which is a virtual platform. So I teach people virtually. I've taught them virtually for years. I taught at a couple studios. And then I have done other sports, other youth sports teams, but probably for you guys was the most I've done with youth sports. And I've also worked with cancer patients too, developing yoga and helping them connect in that way because it's very important. But that's mostly I've taught at a couple of breweries.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was really fun. I just try to meet people where they're at with yoga and make it less like you don't need to be a pretzel, you don't need to have that, you don't need to be like in a magazine, you don't need to look like that. It's not about that. It's about like the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a podcast, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Tell us about your
This
podcast.
reminds me of my first episodes. It's called Chemo Coffee Talk. So I started it very similar to how you guys are doing your podcast, but I started it from my chemo chair and did not ask permission and just walked in and told my chemo nurse the first day I was going to do a podcast. And she was like, what? But luckily, I'm happy I didn't ask permission because it allowed me to show how good it was before they would shut me down.
Yeah.
Plus, I knew I didn't have video, so it was all audio, so I wasn't disrupting anybody's piece. But yeah, it started in my chemo chair, all about trying to like open up the dialogue about cancer, so it's not so scary. And then I finished chemo, and I continue. Now I just do it from very similar to this, from my kitchen table, but it's all, I talk to people virtually, and survivors, caregivers, cancer patients. Just keep like encouraging people to talk about it so it's not so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did doing your podcast help you, and like, because I know you're trying to help other people, did that help you like in the same like thing?
Yeah, so I think that honestly, I started it more for me than I did to be nice to everybody else, just because going to chemo is scary. So I thought to myself, this is a good way for me to reframe chemo, so I don't have to say I'm going to chemo. I could say I'm going to my podcast studio. It really worked, because I was very excited about, I would interview my chemo buddies, my friends that came to chemo with me, because all of them taught me something really special that got me through that experience, so then I could tell everybody about it and interview them. So it helped me, but then I realized I wanted to help other people too.
Yeah. I feel like we've always seen you like on Instagram and stuff talking about like getting through cancer, and you've always had such a positive attitude like about everything. Like that's one thing, like you're so positive.
Oh,
and it's like, how do you keep that, and like what's like keeps you going with a positive attitude?
I think it's a choice, and I think it's a mindset, and I think that sports and putting yourself in situations like you guys do helps to build resilience. I think it's an athlete's mindset. I think you guys probably can tap into the same kind of thing, where you gotta I don't know, it's easy to like go into bed and pull the covers over your head, but you have to decide that you want to fight and you want to win. So I always looked at chemo or cancer as like my opponent.
Your battle.
Yeah, and like, you think you're gonna win, there's no chance. So any type of positivity that I could bring, I felt like was like punching cancer in the face.
I love that. I actually love that.
It was like a nice way of like being like, you're not gonna win. I'm gonna take you down with my smile.
The best way.
Yeah.
So how long were you receiving chemo for?
So I had 16 weeks of chemo, but I had surgery, a double mastectomy before that. So I would say, well, it's funny because the cancer journey doesn't end when you finish chemo. It goes on and on and on. It's just like you have to change the way you think about things. But so I was diagnosed in February of 2024, and then my last day of chemo was August 7th, 2024. So like I was done with treatment then. Yeah. But the journey goes on. Yeah. But yeah, you just learn how to adapt.
What would you say like has continued now?
As far as like
your battle.
So I think it's more of a mental battle now, because there's that fear, and you just have to live with the fact that you have to go back for me, everyone's different, but for me, I have to go back every 3 months and get blood work, and there's nothing I can do to prevent my cancer from coming back as far as taking a drug or something, but it's just a healthy lifestyle and crossing your fingers. Yeah, so it's living each day for what it is. I think everybody should do that.
Yeah,
it's not just cancer patients. Everyone.
What was your like biggest support system, would you say, during that time?
Oh, definitely my family. Yeah, like my husband and my kids. And they I didn't want to scare them. They were supportive, even though they didn't really realize they were being supportive. You know how it is. Yeah. They're boys, and one of them is a teenager. But he was. They were very supportive, and my parents, and my brother, and my friends. I had an army of people.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
How would you say balancing like you're going through that personal, obviously, stuff on yourself, but also like you're a mom of 2 boys. So how would you say managing that during that time was?
I think we just handled it by being extremely honest. So we didn't keep anything from the boys, but obviously they're different ages and they're 5 years in between. So like my 10-year-old, we had to kind of talk about it a little differently than my 16-year-old, but my 16-year-old also was very good with my 10-year-old, so he could talk to him on the side if he was ever scared. I think just being honest. And just taking each day at a time and just encouraging. And I didn't wear a wig or anything because I was just like, this is how I am. So I think that was a little hard in the beginning, but then I think it just made it normal from the kids' friends and everything. So it just became normal, I guess, in a sick and twisted way. Yeah.
You wrote a book, right?
Yes.
Is Pray for the
Pray
Bear.
for the Bear.
Pray for the Bear. Can you tell us about your book and
Yep.
your inspiration for writing it and like how it's done?
So it's, if you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear. That's the quote that's the title.
Oh, I
the
love
Kobe
that.
Bryant quote. Yeah. So somebody sent me a reel with him saying that. And they were like, this is you, Carly. And I was like, yes, it is me. So I thought that was a great title for a book. But I just, if anyone is listening who has gone through chemo, it just is hard to describe, but you just think a lot. And sometimes that's all you can do is just lay there and think. So I had all these thoughts going through my head, and I thought, these thoughts I think would make a really good book, but I wanted it to be short chapters. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want it to be like a cancer book. I didn't want to be like, on January 30th, I was diagnosed with cancer. So I wanted to talk more about like what I've learned from the journey and how everyone can apply that, because like cancer is my bear, but yours may be an injury or something. You know what I mean? Everybody has a bear, but you can learn the same lessons to fight your bear.
Yeah. What would you say is the most important thing you learned
from the cancer journey?
Yeah.
Probably just that that was always my biggest fear, and I really didn't think it would happen to me. So I think what I learned was that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was.
Yeah.
Mentally. Yeah.
Definitely.
I think I'm stronger mentally than I am physically. Yeah.
When you look at it now and like you look back and like see all that you overcame, like how do you feel?
Depends on the day. Sometimes I feel exhausted. Sometimes, most of the time I feel proud, but sometimes I'm just like, I can't believe that happened. So, and grateful. I mean, not grateful for cancer, but I'm grateful for all the lessons that I've learned from it. Yeah.
What would you say like is the biggest thing that you've learned that you apply now to your like almost everyday life?
Oh, living day by day. Like I really don't plan anything too far in advance, and I try not to worry about like what's going to happen next week.
Yeah.
I just take it in 24-hour increments, and sometimes that's too much. Sometimes it's an hour. Just really slowing things down and thinking about like, do I have to worry about that now? No, because right now like nothing is wrong. So stay present and not worry so much about the future.
I feel like that's what a lot of people need to do.
Oh, 100%.
Focusing on like what's happening right now in the present rather than so much in the future.
Yeah, because you can't, it's not guaranteed. Like I know that's cancer is always going to be a risk for me, but like maybe it's not even cancer. Maybe I'll, like, not to be morbid, but maybe I'll walk in the street and get hit by a car. You never know. You never know. Yeah. So just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like when we started our like almost recruiting process, I feel like I can speak for myself. I was so worried about like what was going to happen, like if people were going to reach out to me, or like what if I don't get recruited by the school I want to.
Yep.
And I feel like you said earlier about like the things, it's not necessarily cancer that you've learned from, it's the lessons that you've learned from that journey that I feel like apply to so many people. And I think doing your podcast and the book like relays that message, like that there's, like you said, the bear, like it's different for everybody, but you can do so much with what you've learned. And I feel like that's what's so special about you.
Oh, thanks,
and I feel like even with when coach told us that you were diagnosed, everyone was like, oh my god, like everyone
that's what I said too.
It was like one of the most like active and like fit people like I've seen, because like you can just keep so active like all the time
and so happy and positive.
And so happy and positive. Shocking. We were all just like out of everyone like her.
That's exactly what I thought. But it doesn't, like, cancer doesn't care.
It doesn't care.
It does not care. So, but it just goes to show you that I do think that I like beat it and I'm doing so well, and I like overcame it so fast because of my mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's what saved me. But you can like you said, you can use that towards anything. And the other thing is like, you don't, like some people say to me, I feel bad even telling you that I'm stressed about this because of what you went through. And it's like, there is no competition.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're given what you can handle at the time. And yours would be college. And that's getting recruited. That's totally normal. That's a lot of stress.
Oh my god, I'm blanking. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I feel like it was so cool to, like, this past high school season, it was so cool to have you, like, come and still do all this yoga training with us. Like, I feel like everyone was just like in awe and like inspired. I feel like because of how strong and positive you've stayed, and I feel like that's just like, I don't know. I keep like repeating the same things, but I feel like that's just so like, that's so inspiring to like see in like your journey. And the fact that you're so open about talking about this, and especially with like with your podcast as well, I feel like is really cool for not just like us to see, but a bunch of different people and like all their experiences as well.
Yeah, I think the main thing is like coming into a cancer diagnosis. I mean, I thought it was a death sentence. Like that was my first thought, was like, oh, I'm gonna die. Like that was like, that this is it. Like, no, this isn't fair. So I think now that I've gone through it, I just want to show people that like, okay, you may get handed dealt a bad hand, or for you or a family member, but it's like not a reason to like lay down and give up. Like there's so much hope, and it's not a death sentence, and it's, you can live a happy life having to go through hard things.
Yeah.
It helps you appreciate things more.
I love, what did you like, one burpee a day? Is that your thing? No,
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah,
What gave you that idea?
Because I mean, it's not like I have this huge social media following, but I had enough that I had to like,
Yeah.
it was very important to me that I told people what I was going through, because I didn't want them to be like wondering like, what the heck is going on with Carly? Like, why is she like looking like that? So I knew I had to be upfront and say it, but I didn't want it to be like, I have breast cancer and like this sad. It's just not my style. And I don't like when people feel sorry for me. So I was like, I was sitting right here with my husband. I was like, how can I tell people without this being like some like, get out the violins, and I was like, what if I did a burpee a day and I flipped it so like people could join me in the burpee a day, but it's like this, like, no matter how sick I got, I was like, I'm sure I'll be able to do one burpee. I was like, I just see this working on so many levels, and it just gives me a focus again, like the podcast, to talk about it from a different lens. So that's where that came from. And then it was so nice because like schools were doing them, and like I would like, made me cry. I was like, everyone's doing burpees, and I mean I love burpees, but it was like, it was really nice. I had people show up on my driveway and they were like, look out your window, like on the days when I wasn't feeling well, and they would just come and do a burpee, and I was like, this is so nice. My kids did them. My younger one more than my older one. He was a little like, he did a couple of them.
Oh, that's so, I feel like you've done so many things that like help other people while also helping you to like get through it, but also like helping other people who might be going through the same thing, or like just informing them about what you were going through. But I feel like it simultaneously like helped you
100%
while helping others, which is so awesome.
Because like what's better, like to me, when I'm in a really good mood, or the best thing I can do is when I'm helping other people. And that makes me feel good. So it was just, and then I know I'm helping people. So it was like a circle of just feeling good. And I mean, it's a good way to make lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
It's pretty rotten lemons, but
yeah,
you can always make lemonade.
What's like I mean, you were obviously so active before you got cancer, and you even stayed active like while you had it. Like what's like, even before, what's like just kept you so active every day of your life?
I think probably because I realized at a very young age, like I remember running when I was like in elementary school, and I remember just like how good I felt after. So that is what always,
I agree. I love
oh my gosh, totally. Like if I was stressed about something, like I made that connection very early on. So even though I always played sports, but I didn't like play sports in college. Even though I didn't have that like extreme athletic experience like you guys are super talented, I could connect on a level where I just realized that movement really was medicine. Like it helped me feel better. So that just continued in everything that I ever did.
So what's your like biggest inspiration from starting this whole yoga process as well as like your journey in
Yep.
battling cancer? What has always inspired you?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably. Well, I think I would honestly say before this all happened to stay as healthy as I could, but
Yeah.
it just goes to show you that you just never know.
Mhm.
But what has been in probably just actually as far as being a mom, like setting a really good example for my kids and not just being like, you need to move and like me sitting on the couch. Like I don't even have to talk because they see it.
Yeah.
And they know that that's just like it's like a family value.
Mm.
So I think that's probably my biggest inspiration. Plus, I just want to be able to like have a good life and be able to do like fun things when I
Yeah.
get old.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
something that you look forward to or like that you really want to do? Whether active or a trip or anything small, whatever.
Well, I'm leading a trip next month in
Oh, really?
Norway, a hiking
In
yoga
Norway?
retreat.
Norway.
Yes.
That's cool.
That's very cool. I'm very excited. It's like hiking, biking, and yoga.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean that's really happening. But I'd like to do more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long is that trip going to be?
It's 10 days.
Okay.
Wow.
And then I'm going to Denmark, which is my happy place,
Oh,
directly
nice.
from there. And I'll still be moving there, but I won't be leading a retreat.
What are you going to be doing in Denmark?
So I have family there. So
Oh,
similar
okay.
to like with Germany, with you guys. Yeah, I'm just going to be seeing my friends and
Oh, that's
family
awesome.
and just relaxing.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. But beyond that, I'd like to do more of those things.
Yeah.
Like like I love seeing new places and traveling through. It doesn't even have to be fitness, but like biking or hiking. Yeah. Get more into hiking again. I used to be really into hiking, but I haven't lately. So I'd like to do that more.
do you know how long your hike is going to be?
It's a very I don't want to scare anybody who's signed up, but it's a lot.
You don't have to say if you don't want
Yeah,
to.
no, it's a lot. That's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say, but it's like some days are very long.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the longest hike is or the longest bike, but we're all going to make it.
You're all going to do well. I feel like it's fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Seeking, pushing through
It'll be
things.
fun. It's going to be a blast.
And it's going to be so pretty. Like
It's going to be
Norway.
so. Have you been to Norway?
No, but I just can imagine.
I have never been either.
I've seen pictures recently, and it's so cool.
Can't wait. It's something I've always wanted to do. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
I feel like the hiking.
It's going to be awesome.
And then like looking out, like it'll just be like you don't even like.
I feel like it's going to be right because it's
whoa.
like stunning. I feel like it's going to be my new favorite place.
Yeah,
has my name written all over it.
What's your favorite place right now?
Denmark.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. All right. Well, do you have anything more?
I don't have any more questions.
So I know we've been talking a lot, but at the end of each podcast, we ask our guest what their best piece of advice is that we can incorporate into our lives.
I would say I don't want to repeat somebody else's words. Because the first thing I thought of was like you can do hard things, but like that's so overdone. So I would have to say like just remember that like everyone faces hard things. Like you don't get through life without going through hard things. So think of it as your bear and know that you are stronger than any bear put in your path. And that it's really, really, I mean, I'm going to like the most important thing is movement and exercise. Like it sounds kind of like I say that all the time, but if you think about it from so many different perspectives, like a workout or getting out for a walk, it like changes the way your brain works, which helps you feel better about yourself, which builds confidence, which makes you feel better about being in your body. So like we don't move enough in this culture.
Yeah.
Like exercise, move, and for mental health as well as physical health. So yeah, that's like my biggest platform.
That's good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being on our podcast.
Thanks for asking me.
All right. Bye guys.
Bye.